Okay, so up on Dr. Daniel's operating table today is 1972 Busy Steffie. First time ever that the Steffie face mold was used. And as you can see, her legs come off and both her arms are off. And this is very typical. These dolls and a lot of the dolls, well, the talkers, the quick curls, who else is prone to this? I think Sweet 16, and all those dolls are very prone to the legs breaking off. The Busy dolls, all of them, very prone to the arms also coming off, and it's because of the plastics Mattel used, and they switched to a different it's like a polyurethane, don't quote me on that, type of plastic for the bodies, which was different to the twist and turn and the plastic bodies they used for that. And I think the plastics in the body react with the plastics in the arms and the legs. I don't know if it's sort of the plastic bits that snap onto the knobs, or if it's the soft vinyl that causes the reaction, but whatever it is, it leads to a weakening of the plastic, and it just breaks off. So there is a way to restore, and we'll go through that today. As you can see, Steffie's original hairstyle is out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna need a fair bit of work. So I'm gonna first of all switch her to a different body. I just have a vintage kind of junker body because the leg's really swingy, and I just use it for popping heads on to style, and I don't have to worry about the body itself. So what I'm going to do is pop her head into just a plastic bag. That's what I forgot to mention is with the Busy dolls and the Busy talking dolls, actually also the nape curl talkers are also prone to it, that the vinyl hardens over time, and you can see it just, I'm squeezing quite hard and it's not really giving. So in order to get the head off, need to heat it up just to soften the vinyl. So that's what I'm going to do there. So that's just into a mug of freshly boiled hot water. So that goes there. Just going to pop that out, and legs catching on my lamp. And let's look at the arms. So the bit that breaks off the arm joints usually will be found still in the arm sockets, so it makes it easier to repair. So I'm just peeling back carefully the vinyl of the upper arm, and you can see a little bit of plastic. I'm just going to pull that out. So there's one, and then okay, I'm just going to use needs a bit of force. There we go. take that one out, pop the vinyl back around. Okay, so these are ready just for a little wash, and I'll probably actually just wipe them down with some rubbing alcohol and cotton wool. I'm going to move these somewhere safe, and I'm going to keep them, I'm going to move them on left and right so that I know which side of the body they go onto. And then we've got the leg that's off. No, that's not going to. Okay, let's come. Okay, I'll pop the leg in the hot water and. Ooh, no. That head's not soft enough yet. I may need, there we go, maybe submerge her a bit more fully. And so, yeah, I'll be back in a moment to carry on once the head and the leg have softened. Okay, so the leg's out. And I hope you'll make it a little easier to pull. No, that's not. I may have to just, let me get, I think what's happened is because of the plastic melting. Okay, there we go. And the leg and this bit, they're fairly robust, so they can stand up to a bit of manhandling, but do be careful because they can break, which I've learnt from bitter experience. I'm just going to try. Okay. So actually I need to soften it some more because that's not going to pop out easily. So let's get that back in to the hot water. And let's see if the head, okay, I think her head's just about soft enough just to do a really quick switcheroo. There we go. Okay. And I'm just going to check. I think the other leg seems well enough secured. It's got a little bit of lint in there that I may try. But it's not feeling loose. It's moving freely, so that doesn't seem to need repair at the moment. So put the body to the side somewhere safe, giving that a little wash down. And so Steffie's hair. So I don't have a mint doll to compare to, so I'm going to have to guess a little bit, but I do know what the style looks like is that there's sections taken from the front here, it's pulled back, and you can sort of see, you know, that sort of part of where it was pulled back, and I'm just going to have to take some time to comb it out gently and see what's what. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the video off because there's not going to be anything to report when I'm just brushing it through. Basically, I'll just want, you know, section it out and then just start from the ends, gently brushing it out until it's tangle free, and I'll work all the way around. So we'll be back shortly. Okay. So just left the leg in there for about 5 minutes while I was working on the hair. I'm just going to come back. Hopefully we can get this out now. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's, you can see the leg joint out, and then just ease this back around the hard plastic there, and so we got a fairly intact leg joint here, so may be able to just, yeah, I don't think I'm going to risk gluing that back into position because it's, I don't know how strong that's going to be, so I may replace the joint, but anyway, we'll look at that later. So let's put those to the side and carry on the gentle brushing through of the hair. I'm probably going to go grab, once I've given it a first go over, sort of wet it through, put a bit of fabric conditioner on, and then hopefully be ready to style. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, and we'll be back. Okay, so for some reason I thought I'd hit the record button, and I was busy going along and realized it wasn't recording. So where have I gotten to? So what I did was I went and popped her head under the tap, got it wet, put some fabric softener through the hair, brushed it to get rid of the last remaining tangles, and then brought her back, and I've started sectioning out for the hair that is pulled backwards and then tied with a rubber band in the back. And what I've done is just, I've started sectioning it out, and I'm using the hair to guide me. So what we've got here, you can see these holes are rooted more densely, and then we've got holes that are rooted much less densely. So that says to me that the plugs that are rooted more closely together are going to form part of the hair that gets pulled back, and where they're rooted less densely is going to be underneath where the hair falls. And same on both sides. Actually, this side is much more obvious which part of the hair is going to get pulled back. So the one thing I don't know is sort of how far back hair is taken into this. So I'm sort of using the hair to guide me somewhat. So it feels like there's quite a bit rooted more closely together there, and that just feels as though it should be coming in with this. And I don't have a mint doll or anything to sort of another doll to use as a guide, really, so I am rather flying blind and using just my own judgment. Okay, so this is all feeling, I wonder if Does that want to come? No, that's, I can also see actually, yeah, the length. So that will not want to be tied up. It's part of the hair that falls down. So maybe that's I wonder what this, I think that's a shorter. So let's comb this through and sort of see if, I think maybe there's some, yeah, those are shorter ones. Okay, yeah, that hair is the same length. And let's see about these. Okay, I think there's one other plug maybe that didn't get, that I need to just section out, that is shorter. Okay, there we go. I think that is it. So what I want to do now is just to keep this all separate while I work. So we will grab a hair elastic and just, actually I think I just want to kind of get this more into the rough style of how it should go. Before I tie it, okay. Two, three, okay. So now I've got the hair that just falls naturally, is sectioned off, tied back, and then this is all going to be the hair that gets pulled back. I'm just going to stop the camera, and I may have to reposition, so I'm going to have to anchor the doll in between my legs while I pull this, brush all this back and tie it off. I also want to finish off my cup of coffee, so we'll be back very soon. Okay, so let's see about getting hair tied back. Because what I want to do is to get it nice and smooth, so I have to just go around kind of gently brushing it into shape. But also at the same time not brushing too hard to where I'm then pulling hair out from this section here. So it's just gradually kind of coaxing it back. I just want to sort of have a look at the front now. I can see there's just a bit over on her right side that isn't quite at the same tension as the rest of the hair. Ooh. Just gonna turn her head around and just see if that's any easier. Not particularly. Okay, actually let me it's actually easier to work it. Okay, that's just a little springeling there. And then let's try and get this here. Yeah. Okay, let's put that in and see. It may be that I can also sort of tighten things a bit once the hair's all up. Okay. That may be as good as is feasible. Let me just see. I know I have a strong perfectionist streak, so I want everything just kind of like super smooth and perfect. But really, that's not how things came from the factory. What I can see though is maybe it's not quite. Yeah, I haven't got it quite sort of centered here. So I'm gonna pull that over, pull that again. Okay, well let's take this out, brush it and sort of see where I'm at. I think I wonder if this was a bit of hair that would have gotten pulled back, but yeah, I may just trim that off rather than trying to faff around. Okay. I think maybe that's good enough, though I may go back and adjust it off camera, but you can see, you know, we're very close and maybe it's good enough. So I'll just show you more slow, easy. then I can just, once I turn the camera off, I can fiddle around a little bit more easily and just maybe get this a little neater looking, or maybe I just leave it as is. Anyway, that's her hair done. So the next bit will be, I need to just clean her body down, and then we'll glue the joints back. Okay, so I've given the Busy Steffie body a little wipe down, and now we're going to fix the joints. So for this leg joint, I'm going to use a piece from, it's a joint repair kit from Restyling, who are based in the States. As far as I know, they're the only supplier of these. And you get three of these per set, and on each of these there's pieces to repair different joints. So the top two ones here are for arm joints for talking Barbie dolls. I think you could, for like the quick curl dolls, any of those, that sort of doll. They won't fix twist and turn or vintage dolls. Also comes with I think that's a replacement knob for the living Barbie, if memory serves me right, and then this is a replacement knob again for any kind of talking Barbie, quick curl, etc. Any of the dolls that are prone to the melting of the joints. We're going to be working with the leg joints, which are these four, and there's two different joints here, so there's a pair of each. So if we look, so that's our hole. So this is one of them, and I think, I don't know if you can quite see, but the hole here is too large for this joint. It's just going to fall in. So the other joint is exactly the same knob, it's just got a larger plate, so it will sit down on that and cover it. But what I'm going to do is to sand this down so that it will lie a little more flush against that. I'm also going to, while I've got this going, is to grab excuse me, a talking Barbie joint that also needs repairing. I'll show you both of them actually in this video, because much of it is the same process, but there's going to be a little bit of difference. So let me get my Dremel plugged in down here, and I'm going to want to change to one of the sanding wheels. There we go. Oh. There. So I'm going to do this talking joint first. I'm just going to have to move the camera around because I'm going to do this over the trash can. It produces some waste. What we're going to do here is file this down. So I turn it on to the second highest, and then so now I'm going to take this repair joint and try and... Oh. Okay. Sometimes that happens. I'm going to go back and do the other ones. It's much easier to do this while it's still attached to the frame. There. I'm just going to remove that one. It does make it a little easier to angle in here. What I'm trying to do is get this outer rim thinner. Okay, that will do, and I can just show you. So that's the original thickness, and I just try to take it down as soon as I can. It's not an exact science. This is going to be, it's not going to show on display once the leg is popped back on. So if it's a bit rough and ready, don't worry. So let's put that there. Pop that to the side, and now I want to get the drill bit. So get the drill bit in, and now tighten it back up. Actually, let me turn that off and explain what I'm going to do beforehand, rather than trying to do it above the noise of the drill. So we're going to go in and drill a hole here. You want to be careful just to kind of ease it in, just until it pierces. If you go in too far, you run the risk of damaging this frame that holds all the torquing mechanism in place, or damaging the flywheel here. So let's do that. Okay, so I've got my main, so I've made a hole. Now I need to widen that. So I'm going to go back in with the drill bit and just move the drill around the sides to file away the edges. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to pause and I'm going to see if this is large enough now for this to, so you want this bit, let me get the tweezers, so you want the hole large enough for this, you don't want it larger than the diameter of this piece, and yeah, it doesn't fit. Usually I've done this so many times now, I can generally eyeball it and get it the first time, but I'll sort of show you. That should be it now. Actually, I'm just gonna go back. It's almost there, but I just want to. Okay. Yeah, and it's okay if it's a bit tight, because once we get the glue on there, that's going to soften it up to where it'll just push in. And so this bit here will go into the hole, and this here will sit just on the outside, and that will help support and anchor it in place. The other thing is, when you're drilling the hole here, you want to make sure that you keep it as centered as excuse me, as you can, because the knob should sit centrally in this flange and in this joint area, so that when you pop the leg back on, it all sits flush. Sometimes I don't get it quite right and it's a little off, and it's not the end of the world. I find I don't display my dolls all nude, bung an outfit on them, and Bob's your uncle. A good outfit will hide a multitude of sins. So the drilling there is all done. I would recommend wearing safety goggles when you're doing that, just because there's going to be bits of plastic flying around. Me being me, I don't, but I do have reading glasses on, so that they act as a safety goggle. So don't do what I do, do as I tell you. That was a little family thing. Anyway, back to job at hand. So I'm going to park the torso away because we don't need that, because this next bit is the same for all the joints. So actually, before I do that, I'll show you what I have here is, so this is a brand that's available in the UK. It's Humbrol Precision Poly Cement, and you can get it on either eBay, Amazon. You could pick it up in a shop that sells plastic model kits. As you can see, it says for plastic model kits only. So the thing with the plastic model kits, so if you think of model airplanes, Airfix is the well-known brand here in the UK. The type of plastic they use in those is polystyrene, and it's the exact same plastic that Mattel used in a lot of their dolls. So all the talking Barbies, the Quick Girls, the Busy dolls and others, the torsos were all made of polystyrene. So this glue, what this glue does, it has a solvent in it and it actually melts the plastic. I mean, I'll show you so you see what I mean by melting. And when you then join the pieces together, what happens is it rebonds the plastic, so you don't end up with a layer of glue sandwiched between your two plastic bits. It's melting it together, so it's a much stronger joint, or a much stronger repair than if you just use super glue or something like that. So screw that on. Just go, ooh, that's, so what I'm going to do is just go around the edge there, and I'm going to pop the lid back on that. Actually, this is a new bottle, and the liquid inside is thinner than other bottles, so and maybe as well I've had it sitting on the shelf and it's aged, and then it can be it takes more work to squeeze it out because it's thickened. The other thing you can use, if you can't find glue suitable for polystyrene plastics, is, stretching and grabbing. So this is methyl ethyl ketone, otherwise known as MEK, and it's a solvent and it dissolves polystyrene plastics, and it's the same solvent that's in this glue. And as you can see, the consistency is like water. So using MEK, you have to use fine little paintbrush, and you dab it around, and then it'll evaporate quickly, so you have to keep reapplying, and eventually that will soften the plastic enough. It sort of gradually melts it. This is what I used to use until I found this. With the MEK, because it's so runny, it can sort of run around and over other parts of the torso and leave sort of melt marks, and I want to try and avoid that. Again, not the end of the world, but more my preference. If I can not do that, I'm happier. But if you can't find the glue, but you can find MEK and a really fine sort of paintbrush, go for it. I'm just going to see if this is, I think maybe it needs, yeah. It just needs a little bit more time for the solvent in here to do its thing. I'm just going to apply that to that, and then let's come to the arm joints. So here I've got the bit that I rescued from the inside of the arm, and this is from the right. Move that, the right, and I may not do the gluing, so I may just show you this while I'm waiting for the hip joint to cure. I'm going to show you how to line this bit up with this properly. So you can see here, there's a recessed area, and it starts sort of here. and it's part of the molding process. And let's see if I can show you. So, yeah, this bit also has part of that recess mold, and you can see that it stops. It doesn't go all the way out here, but it sort of starts here and goes just through to there and stops. So when we're lining it up, let's see if I can, yeah, so you can see it stops there, and here it stops. There's the opening, there's the opening. So we're going to want to, when we're gluing it, just sort of line it up as best one can, and it's going to look sort of like that. That way you know it's lined up. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll show you again when I actually come to glue it. Actually, while I'm doing that, I'm going to apply a bit of glue over to the piece of the arm joint that I took from out of the arm, and I'm just applying the glue there as well. So let's let that soften, come back to the hip joint, and okay, so yeah, hopefully you can sort of see the fine little hairs. Yeah, there. So that's the plastic, that's the melting that I was talking about. So that means once it starts doing that, it's ready to attach. And also find that there's a line down the middle of this knob, this replacement knob, and there's also going to be the seam line of the torso, and as best you can try and sort of line those up, and then you know you're not going to be kind of too far over that way or too far over the other way, and sort of ending up with a leg that kind of, you know, isn't sitting flush properly. Okay, so let's just push that into place. Now that has to cure for, let's say, 24 hours. I'm not always that patient. And I may go back. Actually, I may just leave it, but sometimes I'll go back maybe after 12 hours and pop the legs on, and usually I get away with it. Sometimes I don't, and it hasn't cured properly and it just falls apart and I have to redo it. So one should leave it for 24 hours, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. Okay, so let's come and do, so I don't know if I got, oh, okay, so there, so that's the arm joint there, and I'm just gonna, oh no, come back, make sure I've got it lined up as well as possible. Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to do the same with the other side. So apply, whoa! I'm just going to dab some of that away because that's too much. that, and then let's go a little bit. And just sort of get a little bit. There we go, that should do. And put that down, wait a minute-ish. So with that talking Barbie joint, where did I put the torso? Oh, I put it down somewhere safe. Oh, there it is. And so when I come to glue this joint back in, I'm just going to apply it more to the inside of this hole, and then same thing, pop it in there. Well, it will pop in there. And make sure things are lined up as best you can, and again leave it to cure. And just gathering my thoughts, but I think that is the process of repairing the joints. I'm just looking back at, yeah, that's okay. Okay, so next bit, I'll come back when everything has cured, and we'll get the arms back on hopefully, and the leg back on, and then the head, and Steffi will then be all done. Okay, so I've now got, so I popped Steffi's head back onto the body, same way as before, just in the Ziploc bag, dunked into the mug of freshly boiled water for a couple of minutes, and that just softened it up enough to take off the other body, and then get it onto her original body before it hardens again. And I've also now been soaking, well, I put the leg into the same bag in the mug of hot water, and we're gonna pop it back onto the body, and I'm gonna come in at an angle, so like that, and then you'll just hear it pop. And then that's her leg back on now, secure. And then let's see how the arms go. Similar sort of thing. We're just gonna okay. It doesn't pop as loudly. Excuse me. There. Okay. So that's her arms back on and her leg back on. These arm joints are not strong. So she's not going to stand up to lots of redressing and playing and posing. So they should just sort of stay on well enough. Oh, this one, I don't know if, yeah. They'll stay on. Well, let's hope they stay on well enough. it's well enough for the display, I think. But if they don't hold up, I may look to just sand down the original knob and find a screw with a large enough head for the arm socket to sort of pop over and be held in place, and then just sort of screw the screw into the torso. But I'm gonna go and redress her and do the final little show once daylight has returned, because it's now night time and yeah, the lighting isn't very good. So I'll see you in the morning or in just a second on YouTube. Okay, so here's Busy Steffie all finished, and I've redressed her in Super Scarf from 1971. According to my reference book, I think it was still on the market in 72, so it's an appropriate outfit for Busy Steffie, who was released in 1972. And I've got her scarf, but I didn't, when I display her, I'll wrap it around her neck, but I wanted to show her with her hair in view. So I'm just gonna turn her around. So I got the outfit on okay, her arms are still attached, but as I said earlier, it's a very fragile joint, so when you're redressing and posing her, just be really careful and just turn her all the way around. I probably need to invest at some point in a little turntable so that I'm not having to do this with my fingers, but never mind. And because she's a busy doll, I put a little crate of Coca-Cola, so she's ready for Christmas. And the crate and the bottles, it's a vintage piece. I think golly gosh, I'm just trying to recollect. It was a company called Marks over here in the UK. I think it was Marks, but they did various little sets, probably maybe a bit sort of like mid 60s. You can get a vanity and a dining table. I can't remember, I think it's maybe a tall boy or a low boy. Really nice pieces and very affordable. They definitely have much more of a kind of a vintage Barbie sort of feel to them than mod. So a little more old-fashioned rather than sort of futuristic looking. So yeah, so let's go in. So here's Steffie. But yeah, I'm really pleased. You know, I got her for 40 bucks, all busted up, and restored her, and she's looking fine.